right, welcome back to News Center. Let's continue with our coverage. And President Uhuru Kenyatta recently ordered fresh vetting of all procurement heads of government entities in his latest measure to fight corruption in the public sector. But just what ails the president's war on corruption and what obstacles stand on his way in his renewed anti-graft war? Our political affairs reporter Marim Mwangi interrogates on this week's edition of House of Cards.
Like a parasite relentlessly feeding off its host, theft of public funds has ceaselessly ripped off Kenyans of their hard-earned taxes, making a mockery of Kenya's counter-graft agencies. And as the country commemorated its 55th year under self-rule, President Uhuru Kenyatta announced what could potentially be a turning point to the anti-graft war.
All heads of procurement and accounts in government ministries, departments, agencies, and parastatals will undergo fresh vetting, including polygraph testing.
Polygraph tests involve lie-detecting gadgets which measure and record such physiological indices as blood pressure, pulse respiration, and skin conductivity as a person answers a series of questions. This being a departure from the past through which Kenyatta hopes to ask from his administration all partakers of graft. Kenyatta's sudden change of strategy coming in the wake of the suspected 8 billion shilling scam at the National Youth Service, only 2 months after 23 suspects to the inaugural NYS scandal of 791 million shillings walked free from the courts. 24 of 54 persons implicated in the latest NYS scandal, including Principal Secretary Lilian Omolo and NYS Director General Richard Ndubai, have already been charged in court.
We'll give the prosecution.
But what obstacles stand on Kenyatta's renewed anti-graft war?
The experience of the people that they have is a question that we have to look at. Most of these are very young advocates who, have 2-3 years post-admission experience. When they come to handle these particular matters, they lack that level of experience that will be very necessary.
We have very few prosecutors, counsels, and we have to cover all the 47 counties. In addition, you have appeals and you have cases that are not necessarily county-based but at a national level. So we're really strained.
On Tuesday, Milimani Chief Magistrate Douglas Agoti will deliver a verdict whether to remand the NYS suspects throughout the trial as pleaded by the prosecution or to release them on bond as requested by their lawyers. Kenyatta has hinged his legacy term on affordable housing, manufacturing, universal health care and food security. Yet all these analysts argue face the risk of being underwritten by runaway corruption.
Because he might do all these nice things, big Agenda 4, youth, housing, health. But with this sort of corruption, then who is going to be interested about Agenda 4? The big four must be accompanied by transparency and accountability.
There is a question of mishandling of evidence between the time the crime is said to have been done and the time the hearing is done. That is one of the main.
And on our part, I have told these agencies where there is going to be any political interference, I want the details of those, and we will give them to the president. And I'm sure the president will deal with those people.
The polygraph tests, insiders say, could mark the commencement of a broad purge of senior government officials, which observers argue could culminate in a shake-up of Kenyatta's second cabinet. But will this anti-graft war be spared of the politics that has dominated graft-related shake-ups in government of yesteryears?
Like colonialism was defeated, so too we shall defeat corruption.
This is not about corruption. I think corruption is a sideshow. In fact, what you're seeing is the weaponization of anti-corruption to fight political wars.
I know Kenyans are tired. I've also been tired of the same old unusual business. I think let's leave it to time.
Now, with the graft monster yet again threatening to deflect attention from the Jubilee Big Four, the Kenyan criminal justice system is yet again under test as the clock ticks fast through Kenyatta's legacy term. Murimi Mwangi, KTN News in Nairobi.